All right, what's up, quarterback fans, college football fans? Welcome to another QB Spotlight video. In this video, we're talking about Tennessee quarterback Joe Milton. What does he need to do to have success against Florida? What are the keys for him to have success against Florida? We'll talk about Florida's defense and then just the overall takeaway as a whole for Florida or for Tennessee and Joe Milton to beat Florida. And if you're watching this video, we're also going to have kind of a Florida outlook on it and what Graham Mertz needs to do. If it's not out now, then it should be out soon if you're interested in that video as well. But this is your first time tuning in. QB Spotlight is just a big quarterback hub. We talk all things quarterback, so we sincerely thank you for hanging out with us for a little bit. We do previews like this, we do recaps, some film breakdowns, we have a podcast with quarterbacks that come on. It's just a big quarterback hub. So with that said, let's talk Joe Milton. Let's talk what he needs to do to have success, what he needs to do to maximize the Tennessee offense against Florida. I think right now the spread is 7. Tennessee maybe a touchdown favorite. I think it's going to be a close game. I think Florida's defense is good enough to keep them in this game. I really do. If the Tennessee can click on all cylinders offensively, then yeah, they can be in a good position in the fourth quarter. But I think it's going to be a good game, right? I probably lean Tennessee if I have to lean, but no one cares where I lean. Let's talk Joe Milton. I think for Joe Milton to have success, I think a few things need to happen. And I'm not necessarily all that concerned about the performances against UVA or Austin Peay. I thought UVA was fine. If he connects in that deep shot that was dropped, the numbers look different. He's also had 5 drops. I actually haven't thought that he's looked bad at all. Maybe he hasn't looked as good as what you want him to look so far, but I think you have to kind of be willing to excuse 20, 21, 22, 23-year-olds play at times when they're playing a FCS school like Austin Peay compared to Florida. I think it's much easier to get up against Florida than it is at Austin Peay. Now, I'm not going to excuse their performance and say it's okay, but I think there's still some chance for more than some chance. I think there's opportunity for Milton to have a good season, a good start against Florida. So what are the keys? Well, so far, Milton hasn't had to really take any vertical shots deep to win. Now, if they've taken some vertical shots, I think you're going to probably need to against Florida to win and complete on some, but so far they haven't had to. You had that shot against UVA that was dropped. That was a good deep ball, right? Everyone knows what I'm talking about if you're a Tennessee fan. But nothing's been vertically done consistently yet. Yards per attempt are under 7. So with that said, to win the game, I don't even think you need to have a bunch of 20-plus yard shots downfield. Like right now, he's 2 of 9 with 20-plus yards downfield. He's 5 of 13 between 10 and 19 yards downfield, and he's 12 of 17 between 0 and 9. 12 of his 42 completions have come in some sort of screen position. 23 of his passes have been behind the line of scrimmage, or 23 of his completions, I believe, 23 or 24 have been behind the line of scrimmage, so just real quick screen throws, right? So again, you've only taken 9 attempts of 20 yards downfield, no big deal, only 13 between 10 and 19, and then 9 yards and under is kind of where they've lived so far. But I think to have success against Florida, to beat Florida, I do think you're going to have to take some shots. You have to complete some balls middle of the field. I think you're going to have to do more than just have a bunch of screens. So that's part of Tennessee's offense. I get it. And it works, right? You throw a quick screen to a receiver, get the ball out quick, slow down the defense, slow down the pass rush. I get it. I'm not saying don't do that. But to maximize the offense, to beat Florida, I think you're going to have to do that. And maybe Florida's offense can't get together and you can just your defense holds up and you can kind of continue the same offense you've been doing. Sure, maybe so. But at some point, you're going to have to take some more shots, right? So that's key number 1. Medium to deep shots, but at least get some medium, some intermediate throws going. Number 2, play well versus the blitz and just versus pressure in general. Like blitz and pressure are 2 different things, but play well versus both of them. I think Florida's going to try to get pressure as opposed to sit back and letting Milton go through progressions and read. If Milton is able to be clean and Florida sits back, I think Milton is probably there's more of an advantage for Milton. That's not always the case for quarterbacks. Some quarterbacks do much better against blitz because there's not as many defenders, but other quarterbacks do much better when the defenders are dropping back. So I think with Milton, I think they're going to try to get pressure. So far, he's 1 of 9 when he's under pressure this season. It's not a big sample size. It's not fair, but so far that's what he is. He's 11 and 21 when the blitz is coming. So whenever there's potential pressure, the ball comes out quick. Maybe not as accurate as whenever there's not pressure, right? But with that said, he hasn't had a pick yet. No, like real negative plays have come from the pressure of the blitz, right? But if you're Florida, here's what I think Florida's going to try to do, or what you want to do. I think they're going to want to try to get some type of pressure on Milton. I think their mindset is, hey, the more pressures we can get, the more potential that leads to a turnover. They had 17 total pressures against Utah, and I'm kind of just going off their Utah game because their performance against, I think it's an FCS school, I don't put a ton of stock into, but 17 pressures against Utah. I think it was 7 hits and 10 hurries, something along those lines. But regardless, they're going to try to get pressure, right? So big takeaways for Milton, I think, comes down to 2 factors. I think you're going to have to hit some medium plus shots. I would like some deep vertical shots, but I think if you got to hit some medium plus shots, and then also play well against the blitz, expect them to try to get pressure on you. And maybe that's when the screens come into play, right? Again, I'm not saying don't throw the screens. The screens are part of Tennessee's offense. But I think they're going to have to kind of build on top of that to beat Florida. And I have a video that we'll watch at the very end, or here in a second, that showcases the type of throw or the type of play call I think you'll want to see against Florida, and that's just pushing the ball downfield. It's a ball against Virginia. But let me know in the comments below, Florida fans, Tennessee fans, whoever's watching, what do you think Milton needs to do? Am I totally wrong here? Are there more keys? I'm sure there are. But the ones that stand out to me, the 2 big ones, are medium plus throws and play well against pressure, and knowing what Florida is going to potentially try to do. But that's what I got. So here's a clip of Milton, and if you like this video, hey, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Here's Milton. Like we mentioned, this is broadcast footage, so take with a grain of salt, but it's actually decent quality because we can see all the DBs, and we can see it's 2nd and 22 right here, and UVA's defenders are only, what is that, 13-ish, 14-ish yards off the ball. You probably shouldn't even be on the screen in this distance. But anyways, we want to see more throws like this from Milton. Now, yes, this is underthrown, but still complete. And like we talked earlier, he had a throw in this game that was dropped. So regardless, the point of the story is just an example of what, let's see, here we go, of more plays of what we need to see like against Florida. I think maybe you can get away not having deep balls like this, right? Sorry, I got to kind of pause it. Boom. Right, it's good read, obviously, no safety there, underthrew it a little bit, you wanted to see him throw it out there, but at least the ball was complete. But regardless, you want to see more shots like this, more deep throws like this. Even if it's mid-range, though, I think that can potentially get the job done too. But I think Florida's going to be trying to defend all the short stuff and all the screens. But anyways, just want to show a quick example of some throws that I think Tennessee will have to make to beat Florida. But like always, I want to hear from you. What do you think? Let us know your thoughts below. And as always, like, subscribe, share, all that YouTube stuff. It does help. And we'll see you next time. Peace.